Hello, welcome to Hands-on Equations, translating equations to models and solving using math notes. For this note sheet, just so you are aware, we will only be working on the left side of this note. We will be doing the right side tomorrow, so I don't want you to get confused. So you're just going to hang on to these notes. We'll just focus on the left side today. So yesterday we talked about the importance of keeping equations balanced. We talked about how to use a visual representation of equations to solve with pawns and number cubes. Today we are going to start off with an equation, translate it to a visual model, and then use the visual model to solve for the unknown, which are our pawns. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So in this case, our equation is 4x plus 2 is equal to 3x plus 9. So what we're saying is that you have 4 unknowns that are all of equal, plus a number 2 on the left side. And then on the right side, we have 3 unknowns, which again are all equal, not just equal to each other, but also equal to the ones on the left side, and then a 9. So we write that as 4 pawns on the left side, a number 2, and then 3 pawns on the right side, and a number 9. So yesterday we talked about in order to solve, you really need all the pawns on one side. So that means I need to remove some of these pawns. So I'm going to remove these 3 pawns. And in doing so, I need a balanced move. So whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Since I removed 3 on the right, I'm going to remove 3 on the left as well. And in doing so, I am now left with 1 pawn, a number 2 on the left, and then just a number 9 on the right. The next step was, I know I need to get rid of the 2, but right now I don't have a 2 on the right side I need to get rid of from. So I'm going to think of how can I rewrite 9 to include a 2. So in other words, 2 plus what is going to be equal to 9? Well, I know 7 plus 2 is 9, so I'm going to rewrite the 9 so it's 2 and 7. Now I can go ahead and remove my 2 from the left because I can also remove it from the right. And then finally, we are left with 1 pawn on the left, a number 7 on the right, so I know the unknown is 7. Checking is just the same as yesterday. Step 1, start off what was represented on the scale. So I had 4 pawns and a number 2 on the left, and then 3 pawns and a number 9 on the right. Then I plug in my 7s for the pawns. So on the left side, I'm left with 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 2. And on the right side, I'm left with 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 9. And then I'm going to use my calculator to add both sides. And in doing so, I see that I get both sides are equal to 30. So it does indeed check out. All right, so let's take a look at the next page. So this time, I'm left with 2x, x and 4 on the left. And then on the right, I have 4x plus 1. So when I represent that visually, I'm going to have 2 pawns to represent the 2x, another pawn to represent the single x, a 4 for the number 4. And then on the right side, I'm going to have 4 pawns to represent the 4x and a 1 to represent the 1. Okay, again, we really need pawns to be on one side. It really doesn't matter what side. I know I'm going to have to get rid of pawns. So if I get rid of 3 here, I can also get rid of 3 here. And in doing so, I'm now left with 1 pawn on the right with a number 1, and then a number 4 on the left. Next, I ask myself, how can I rewrite 4? Because I know I need to get rid of a 1. So I'm going to ask myself, 1 plus what is going to give me 4? And in this case, I know 1 plus 3. So I rewrite the 4 as a 1 and a 3. And then on the right side, I still have that pawn and the 1. Now I can go ahead and get rid of my 1 because I also have a 1 to get rid of on the left side. Finally, I see I'm left with a 3 on the left and a pawn on the right. So that tells me 1 pawn is equal to 3. For checking, step 1, you rewrite exactly what was on the scale. So the scale showed 3 pawns plus a 4 on the left, and then 4 pawns plus a 1 on the right. Next step is to plug in for my unknowns. So I know that those unknowns were 3. So it becomes 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 is equal to 3 plus 3, plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1. From there, I add up both sides. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 is equal to 13. And then 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1 is also equal to 13. So I see that it indeed does check out. Okay, you guys go ahead and try just the left side of the third page. You don't need to do the right side. So go ahead, pause the video, and try on your own. Make sure you're representing it visually, and then also make sure you are checking. All right, so let's go ahead and go through this. Left side, I have a 2x, so I'm going to do 2 pawns. Another x, so that's another pawn. And then another x, so that's another pawn. And then finally a 3, so all that's on the left side. Right side, I have 3 x's, so that's 3 pawns. Then I have a 10. And I have a 4. Next, I am going to eliminate some pawns. So I see I have 3 over here that I can eliminate, but that means I have to also eliminate 3 over here. So I'm left with 1 pawn and a number 3. And then on the right side, I'm left with a 10 and a 4. So my next step is I need to somehow get rid of this 3 so I can get my pawn by myself. On the right side, I have a 10 and a 4, and that adds up to 14. I know that. So I need to ask myself, how can I rewrite 14 so that it's 3 plus something? So 3 plus what is going to equal 14? So I know that's going to be a 3 and an 11. So I'm going to rewrite the right side as a 3 and an 11. Now I can go ahead and eliminate my 3's from each side. So now I'm left with a pawn and an 11. So 1 pawn is equal to 11. Last thing I have to do is check. So I look at my scale and I see, to start with, I had 4 pawns and a 3 on the left side. So pawn plus pawn plus pawn plus pawn plus 3 is equal to. And on the right side, I had 3 pawns and a 10 and a 4. Pawn plus pawn plus pawn plus 10 plus 4. Next, I'm going to plug in. So I have 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus 3. 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus 10 plus 4. And then I use my calculator to add them up. So when I add up the left side, I get 47. And when I add up the right side, I also get 47. So I see that it does indeed check out. So that's it for today's lesson. Hang on to these notes. You will have to submit them for some points, but hang on to them because tomorrow we will be focusing on the right side. Don't forget, you do have a worksheet to go along with this. Thanks for watching.